You've worked with an outrageous for a 30-year-old, and you've been in business forever. But you got Leo, Hardy, Keaton,
Aniston, Sudeikis.
Like,
you know, you've done them all.
Who's your favorite?
I'm really lucky.
No, who's your least favorite? Who do you hate the most?
We'll just rank them. We'll just go. Let's just list them
from best to worst.
I've been really lucky, you know, to work with the folks that I have worked with. I mean, it's hard for me to pick a favorite, obviously, but you know, I think anytime, again, as a young person in this industry, you're around, you know, more experienced people, you kind of have your proverbial notebook out and you're kind of absorbing just through observing them and watching what they do. And that's such a cool position to be in.
You know what helps though? Your accent, you know?
Oh, right.
Like if I'm like an established actor and I'm on set with a kid actor or like a teenage actor, you know, but he has an accent, I'd be like, all right, he's like legit.
He drinks.
Yeah, he's sophisticated. I feel like you're the latest person on my list of I didn't know he had an accent, which is a lot. It's a very common thing for Americans where we're like, they don't talk like me. Not everybody talks like me. But I didn't know it until I didn't know I
had an English accent.
Right.
I don't think I knew that until with this interview. I first Googled it.
But even like I knew it coming into it, and then still when you opened your mouth in here, I was like, that's right.
Why is he doing that with a British accent? Yeah. When's he going to drop that? It's
He's doing an Austin Butler thing.
I don't know. His Elvis accent apparently is amazing.
But he didn't stop.
I didn't know that.
He's at award shows and in his regular life still talking like Elvis. Which is not a bad move. I don't know. Whatever.
I didn't know that. But it's funny, like growing up, you know, we watch and I don't want to say consume because it makes it that sounds like the death of art, but like we do see and listen to so much kind of American media, so we're kind of exposed to the accent from like a young age.
Sure.
And you know, like everyone grows up watching, you know, The Simpsons and like The Fresh Prince and these shows, and we hear the accent, and so everyone is kind of in the habit of, I guess, like doing impressions and quoting things in American accents from a young age.
From right
so
away.
Like as Brits, we almost get like a bit of a head start on it. You know what I mean? It's almost unfair in some ways, because then I think people are particularly harsh on American actors when they try and do British accents. It's like, it's harder to do. And also I think sometimes the British accent is represented in a kind of quite a binary way where it's like,
hello, governor, or there's no nuance to it.
It's like we're too posh to function.
It's
like there's like nothing kind of in between, and you know, it's a small country but with a huge range of accents in different regions, and so you know, you hear all kinds of.
Where do you live now?
I live in London.
Okay, so have you ever lived over here?
No, I've never lived over here. I mean, I shoot things for long periods of time, so like, you know, for Guardians, I was basically in Atlanta for about 6 months, you know, and bouncing around different parts of the States, but predominantly in Atlanta. And then, you know, I was kind of back in London for a while.
Why Atlanta?
That's where Marvel Studios are.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have 1,000% guessed it was LA.
I surely would have guessed LA.
Yeah, that's where Marvel does the movies.
No, but that's fair. And they've got great crews out there in Georgia. And, I loved Atlanta. It's one of my favorite places. I really enjoyed it.
Was We Are the Millers like your breakout? Would you call it that?
Yeah, I at least it was my first movie that I shot in America.
Yeah.
So I'd done 2 films before that, and was kind of still at school, and that was sort of one of my first things out of school, really.
That's got to be a weird. Yeah. So you were probably what, like?
I was 19, I think. Yeah, 19 years old.
It's like. It's just funny having some of your like goofier younger years and like and that was the role, right? So you're like being extra goofy as like this teenage son in the movie.
It was funny when we were discussing the costume for that. They were like, you know, like Kenny's kind of goofy and this, that, and the other. Like, you got any ideas for the costume? I was like, well, here's a picture of me at school.
How about my everyday outfit?
Like, yeah, exactly. How about we just throw some stripes on this t-shirt? I've already got the Casio. I've already got the JanSport backpack. Those dad shoes. I'm ahead of the game there. So, you know, it was kind of it all became pretty.
Was that like? I mean, you must have felt like the man after that, though. No, you go back to your friends and you're like, yeah, me and Jen were on set. No big deal.
I you know, like, I mean, I grew up watching, you know, Jen in Friends. I was a huge Friends fan. You know, I loved SNL. I was very familiar with who Jason was. You know, so to work with him was so cool. And Rawson had directed Dodgeball, which I'd loved. So like I was just stoked to be on it. And then I kind of went to college right after shooting Weird and Miller's. I think the timeline. I mean, it doesn't help that I'm dyslexic and I'm a college dropout, but that's roughly
gang.
So you pretended you were like, I gotta go to college, even though you.
Here's the thing. At that stage, I genuinely didn't like. I didn't know
you don't know
Weird
you're
was
gonna
going to
keep
come
going.
out, and like it might have totally flopped, and then like so I went and at least attempted to get a degree, and then quite honestly, I got offered a role in a job, and I did like the cost benefit analysis. Like tuition fees were expensive.
Yeah.
Our government lied to us about raising tuition fees. That happens. And so then I was like, like this is costing me a lot of money to be in college, and I've got an offer to do this job. Went and did that, and like glad that I made that decision.
Was We Are the Millers a commercial success? I know it's become like kind of a cult classic, and you always watch it when it's on like TNT and reruns and stuff like that. But I don't know if when it first came out, was it like smash hit?
I don't know.
I think it's weird to like. I don't want to be the one to say that. It sounds like I don't want to sound like an asshole, but I think it was quite a big success. Like financially, kind of like
bro, it did $200 million. You idiot!
I think it's a lot of people saw it.
I don't want to say, but yeah, I was a fucking monster, dude.
You uninformed, uneducated idiot.
No.
Now that I'm thinking though, like that scene with Jennifer Aniston alone probably put a lot of buzz. So, man, that movie, that scene where like you're supposed to give the guy the blowjob to like get over the border or whatever it is so goddamn funny.
There's some wild stuff.
It's so goddamn funny.
Looking back, and it was fun as well because it was a comedy, you know, and Rawson was so comfortable and au fait with all of that stuff. Like some of the funniest stuff would just be like thrown out from behind the monitor, and Sudeikis being on SNL.
Sure, he was
improvise.
Yeah.
Jen is like, I mean, such a gifted comedian that there was just a lot of like fun. Had Catherine Hahn's in it, Nick Offerman.
Yeah.
You know,
man,
like
a bomb squad in there.
Yeah, it really is, of just really gifted improvisationalists as well. So to be around that was cool. Yeah.